Hi, with this video, I'm asking you to take some time to plan out how you use your time in college. This is something that I think is helpful to do towards the beginning of the semester, but also at any time when you just need to rethink, revisit, how am I making the use of my time? How much time do I have, and how should I best prioritize it? And this particular grid is so helpful. Helps you visualize how you're spending your time. So the first thing you do is fill in all your classes. This particular worksheet that I'm using is on my website at Academic Strategy Instruction at Appalachian under Time Management in College. As you do it, you see the time you need to save for class. Attending class and fully engaging in class is critical for success in a holistic way. You find out what the professor's emphasizing, you get to know your professor better, you get to know your classmates better. It helps you stay focused on the content. So of course I need to save time for the classes, but what is important to also think about in college is how you spend time outside of classes. Well, everyone's experience in high school and or community college may vary. It is definitely true that here at the university, much of your learning takes place outside of class. Your class time is a piece of it, but for success, you must really strategically use your time in between classes and prioritize what to study, when to study, how to study. After I finish filling in all the classes, I'm then going to go through, and I want you to do this for yourself, whether it's on a paper-based version or digital. Write in your classes, but also write in when are you going to eat and when are you going to exercise. You'll see me do that in just a minute. I have to stress saving some time for some kind of exercise is a critical time management strategy. Sometimes when people feel very busy, the first thing they cut is exercise, and I just have to stress that if you want to be efficient, you have to have some time for exercise. Of course, if you're spending hours and hours on exercise, that becomes a different kind of time management challenge and can fatigue you. So ideally you want to balance. So here I'm about to write in. I'm also going to save time for meals. I need to be realistic. All those blank times are not actually free. Oh, and for this person, I'm also writing in the times that I work at a restaurant, and that takes up quite a bit of time. So that's going to make my budget of time a little tighter. I need to use my time as efficiently as possible. I've actually observed that students face two kinds of time management challenges, there are two different kinds. One is too busy. When you finish filling out this grid, you have like an hour here and an hour there that's free. Everything else is committed. If that's the case, you're going to have to be, first, I might encourage you to assess, do I have to do everything that I've committed to? And second, you'll have to be very disciplined. The other kind of time management challenge that I've seen, though, is students who have a lot of free time. That doesn't feel to them like they have a lot of pressing deadlines, they have a lot of flexibility, and so what few deadlines they have, they keep putting off because there's no pressure to get it done right away. In that case, I think you need discipline too. You need to ignore the deadlines. I think that's a time management challenge anyway, and start right away. Try never to be completing work on the day it's due. Be working ahead on it. After I finish writing in all of these things, I'm going to be planning my study times, and I want you to really be strategic about this. When are you most focused? When is the best time in this schedule to study? For me and for this student that I'm filling out, early morning is when I'm most focused. Also, biology can be a pretty heavy load. There's so much to review that I tend to recommend as soon as possible after class, review those notes, flesh them out, and then quiz yourself on everything you've studied in bio so far. I'll also be making time in the evening for that class to do a little additional reading and study based on what I saw in the lecture, because usually it's more material than I can cover in just the hour after class. Same with econ. That would be a class I'd probably want to save a special time when I'm most focused to work on it while it's fresh. And then I need to save the other study times for everything else. I have an English class, a history class where I need to keep working on them, but it's going to vary. I may want to do a little bit of each, or I may feel more pressure for one. And then in my busy work schedule, I do have a few evenings that I'm going to save to read and study. I might do that in the library. Sometimes working at the library is helpful. I also encourage students to stay on campus between classes rather than walk back to the dorm. That can eat up a lot of time. After I finish figuring out when and where I'm spending all my time, and in this case I had one more shift at the restaurant that I forgot to write down, I then want to work. I have some backup time on the weekend. I'm going to assess that. My goal might be to use that when I have a heavy load. I have like Saturday mornings, maybe Sunday later in the day, so I can take some time off, sleep in. But if I work hard during the week, that can be a reward, which would also be a strategy I'd recommend to you. So here you can see one game plan to get through the semester, really creating these as habits. Even though many of these are flexible, you want to honor that time and stick with it. All right, good luck.